Hi, I'm Steve Catizone. My studio is Infinite Recording Studios in Boston, Mass.
Hi, my name is Matt Heath. I work here at Infinite Recording.
And I'm a Recording Connection mentor. I've been doing this since 1998. We had our first studio in downtown Boston. Since then, have had studios in Boston, New York, and LA. And we opened this spot in 2015 and just wanted to give back to people, basically provide a place that students can come and learn and just get better at what they do and provide a positive experience for students.
There were a few other engineers when I started, but like happens, right? Like people move, and then for me just being here and kind of just like demonstrating my ability, like moved up the ladder to become head engineer, and now work with a lot of my own clients. I have a lot of regulars now, and I get to teach all the Recording Connection students, which is super fun.
Working with students too, one-on-one, it's just like when you're in with an artist. Every artist relationship you have, you end up developing your own language with basically how things are functioning, what's how you can relate to the person one-on-one. In a classroom, you can't get that. You get that, you do with every student individually, so you end up having this rapport back and forth, which is great, And 9 times out of 10, the people that are the best hustlers, the ones that are really, really good, you have it's very easy to put your name behind them and recommend them for a position somewhere, or take them into your, to the studio here, which we've done time and time again.
So I think it's the merging of the industry and the academic setting. They can come in and learn, but they also are in the environment where we're doing business, right? So they get to see the things I'm working on a day-to-day, right? And we'll just kind of expand their horizons of what they're already into.
When I'd gone to Berkeley, I spent a lot of time in the labs doing all the work, getting really, getting my chops on steroids. But I'd gotten out and I hadn't seen a contract. I hadn't seen anything that was business related. So I had no idea about the actual business I was going to get into in the first place. So what I love about the mentorship thing is because you're a mentor, because you're actively trying to help somebody get established in what they want to do, your chapter that you're talking to a student might be on equalization that day, right? But they come in saying that somebody wants to buy a beat of theirs, and they don't know how to put the contract together, and they don't know how to price it. So we stop what we're talking about as far as the tech stuff and dive into that, So that is invaluable. I wish I had that coming up. I didn't, School of Hard Knocks. But in a classroom environment, you'd be lucky if you could pull the teacher aside after class and have maybe an after-hours chat with them. That never happened. In the past, we've always done things where we were connected with labels, and anytime people were touring, they would come through the studio and usually work, till all hours. We've done stuff like that with T-Pain, with Black Eyed Peas, guys from Aerosmith that we work regularly with. It's always an interesting experience dealing with that level, because you step up your game and you realize where you need to be and what you need to be doing. But also, if you've been recording and engineering and producing long enough, it ends up being second hat. You realize working with high-profile people is the same as working with anybody else. In fact, a lot of times you can carry over some of the things that you do with the local guys to the national, international guys, and it works out. We concentrate on getting a great vocal sound here. That's first and foremost, because you have plenty of tools inside the box as far as software and plugins are concerned, but I wanted to make sure that we had a great 251 style microphone, 1073 style mic pre's, and some nice optical compression that we work with. The compression, this Manly ELOP compressor is beautiful because it's transparent. The Chandler Limited, the LTD ones that we use as far as vocals for input, and that's got a nice 1073 type of sound to it. We use JBL monitoring here. The Yamaha, the NS10s we have, which are great. They're an industry standard in that they're the most common bookshelf type of speaker. Or they basically, if you can make them sound good on an NS10, your mix is pretty there or pretty close to there. And then outboard gear, we've got the DeepMind analog style synth. It's good to have some sound coming in from outside the box, because it's like night and day.
The curriculum is very thorough and will fill in those knowledge gaps that people might be coming in with, right? And those kinds of figuring out what we don't know is really tough. The curriculum is a great chance to just go and review and find things you're familiar with, but then be introduced to new information about that. It'll change your whole perspective, right? And then the one-on-one time spent going over the chapter and kind of applying those concepts to your own project is kind of if the curriculum is the what and the how, then our explanations are the when and the why.
Some success stories we've had with Recording Connection are hiring people on the spot as soon as they're at a point where we feel like they can deal with clients. Ian was the latest success story we've had. Before he even finished the program, he was already doing sessions. And he came into it with some knowledge and had some chops as a producer to begin with, but he just honed them. He honed them more and more. And basically, we found that the one point that he needed more work on was working with vocalists, because he had his beat stuff down, and he made sure that he did that. He applied himself. We gave him the opportunity to stay till 2 in the morning, and he took it every time. I've had people go on to run studios in New York and in LA. There's always 2 or 3 guys every year that we end up bringing on as engineers or as producers. If you're a slacker, there's no real, we don't have space to waste for people that aren't in it and aren't excited about it and aren't hungry and passionate. I always say that if you're not passionate about what you do, there's somebody else right behind you that's more passionate, that's ready to take your place. So I don't have time to sit down with people that I have to kickstart every time they come in. Matt doesn't have the time to do that type of thing. If you're somebody who's motivated, energetic, ready to go, come on in. There's going to be a place for you here. Doesn't matter if you're amazing what you do yet, you'll get there.